Is the gremlin or the ego secretly working for the higher self, or does the higher self play 5D chess with the ego in this video? I just wanted to share a little bit of an idea in this video that I had, which was the ego is kind of just an effect. It's not a real entity. You can treat it like an entity, of course, and work with it that way. But from some perspective, it's just smoke and mirrors. But it creates seemingly real experiences that are mostly negative, because the ego projects negative outcomes and then or problems, and then tries to come up with solutions for problems or solutions for preventing whatever bad future projection is there. And then it does that by mapping out the matrix or the world in a way where I can navigate it to the point where I become a winner in the matrix, right? And that usually, even if it works at first, it's long term it creates pain and stress and suffering basically, and then I have to let it go and stuff. And then people say, well, the ego is not good, just ignore it, or just tell the ego to shut up, which I get it, but it's also like, I think the ego is always gonna be there. Even when I say to the ego, shut up, it probably comes from the ego mostly, right? So the ego pretends not to be the ego to then position itself against some projected entity that isn't even there, to then play the good guy again and stuff like that. So what I wanted to just put out in this video is just the idea that maybe the gremlin actually, or the higher self actually, plays 5D chess, in the sense that it actually accepts the ego the way that it is and the outcomes that the ego brings and the experiences that the ego bring, because the experiences that the ego bring have a lot of growth potential for the higher self. Basically, the veil of forgetfulness is there for a reason, and ego can only function under the veil of forgetfulness properly, and suffering can only really happen under the veil of forgetfulness. So then we experience certain experiences that are not really part of the absolute or God, like pain, suffering, and so on. But then maybe this is what we're here for, because experiencing it and then seeing where it comes from, transforming it, and seeing what is actually the case, like, might be the secret plan of the higher self. Like experiencing powerlessness to then really rediscover how powerful we are might be the secret plan of the higher self. Like experiencing deep shame and depression and self-hate to just then experience this intense self-love that we had in the first place, but rediscover it to where we can really really experience it more, might be the secret plan of the higher self. So maybe the gremlins, knowingly or unknowingly, is a secret agent by the higher self, and they both work together. So this is kind of an idea that I had, and I just wanted to share this.